Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Shooters Lounge podcast. I am Matt at Post323. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, on the YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. And you can follow us on the socials at Shooters Lounge 3. Tonight, we're going to be talking Phoenix Suns basketball, and who better else to have on as my distinguished guest, a returning Shooters Lounge podcast guest. We've got Matt from Go On My Suns. Matt, good to have you on again, bro.
Hello, mate. Thank you for having me again. Yeah. Second season in a row.
Absolutely, mate. The first returning guest on the Shooters Lounge podcast, mate. So that's a trophy that we can get for you, bro.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, we're going to be talking Phoenix Suns tonight. So, how have you been anyway, Matt? You been good?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Yeah, just trying to enjoy the season, trying to keep fit, trying to keep healthy, the usual. So, yeah, all good.
Always. Are you glad that NBA is back? Are you glad that it's back?
Yeah. I had a pretty chilled summer. It was nice to get away from ball a little bit, get off the socials as much as possible. But yeah, come sort of like beginning of October, end of September, when I was, starting to think about the season, I was really itching for it. So and I was excited for what we'd done in the off season and stuff as well. So
absolutely. So we'll kind of dive right into it, Matt. So after the last time we had you on, obviously we didn't win the NBA championship. The Suns unfortunately ended probably a bit earlier than what we wanted. But what were your thoughts on last year as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing, of course. Whenever there's high expectations and you don't win it, there is. But let's be honest, looking at history, when have three all-star, couple of MVP level players got together and won it straight away? It doesn't really happen. No. I think we could see that as the season went on, things weren't right. There was bits in the media from players and comments said and looks on the court and disengagement on the court. So, you could see that things weren't right. I think once things fell apart at the end in the playoffs, you knew that Frank was gone. And I think maybe in hindsight, looking at it, when we did go to get a new coach after firing Monty, maybe they did want Bud in the first place. But he weren't in a position. I think he had some family stuff with losing his brother, and I think his health wasn't great and things. So he took the year off, and rightly so. But I didn't know until we got him that he was from Arizona. So I think he may have been our target, and I think Vogel might have been the backup plan. But I think with last season, I don't want to jump ahead to this season yet, but I think seeing the offense this year shows that really last year there was almost just roll the ball out and let the three guys go. But actually, I think the three guys we've got want to be coached and they want to be in a system and they want to make sure it's done. I think Vogel, what he did for the defense was really good. And, it was quite difficult. I think, Nurkic and Grayson Allen joined, I think it was like 3 or 4 days before training camp. So you think the coaching staff would have been planning stuff with the team they had and then switching that up. So we had bits there. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. I think we knew that the bench weren't great. I think I was misguided by how good some of these players that we had could be. And they disappointed, as evidenced by them all, most of them being traded at the trade deadline. We got Royce in, which was really good, and we've obviously re-signed him and secured Grayson as well for this year. But it was a bit of an odd one. It wasn't fun basketball, let's be honest. It just wasn't,
no.
Which is quite a rarity for the Suns, because even when we've been bad, we've had some enjoyable players to watch.
Always entertaining, if anything.
Because it was almost like if you don't laugh, you cry. But
it
was a bit like that at points last season. It shouldn't have been with the caliber of players that we haven't had and continue to have. So disappointing in a way, but not unexpected really. We definitely could have done better. Getting swept was just unacceptable, really. We should have at least been a second round team without a doubt, and maybe get knocked out by a Denver or a UK OKC. Do you know what I mean? So not that the Timberwolves bad. They did really well last year, but
yeah, they pick at the right time probably, and we didn't, did we?
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And,
not sure when our peak was last year, really, but we ended the regular season quite well, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a 8 game win streak in November, similar to now, or what we did have earlier. But after that, it was a bit shaky. I think one thing, just to talk about last season, still that Nurkic said in the off season when I think it might have been Dwayne Rankin asked why you stopped shooting threes last year, and he was like, "I was just following orders." And as much as the threes aren't falling at the moment, if he can hit like 33%, just to be enough to be a threat, which he has shown. I mean, last week he, bum ankle and stuff like that. But the week before he'd done really well, and I think if we can see some of that, that would be really good. That will help. So that the fact that he got asked not to do it is not going to help anyone's confidence. And I think we've seen from him that he is a player that if he's confident, he'll be involved and he'll get stuck in and he'll do good things for us. Like not last week, the week before, when he had I think it was like 4 double-doubles in a row and really was really good. Like, to be honest, there was a couple of games there where he was probably our second best player, so if we can get back to that, that would be nice.
Absolutely. I mean, Nurkic this year, he's my no yes guy when he pulls up for 3. Yes. I'm kind of at that, but I'm like, no. Oh, he's made it. Okay, fair enough. And
it is. And also, I think if at least I feel like you can see when it releases from him if it's going in or not.
Yeah, I think he knows as well.
I think he knows as well. I think he knows as well. You're right.
If it looks good,
But I think I put him as my struggling son in my weekly blog this week, and I called it the Nurk coaster because
that's literally what it is.
Because the week before he was one of my sort of scorching sons, and the week before that he was my struggling son. So it really has been a Nurk coaster so far.
So it depends what week it is as to what Nurk we get then.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, my thoughts on last season, mate. I mean, who knew that a team would struggle without a point guard? I just couldn't shake that thing at the start of the season where you need a point guard, mate. As good as Beal, KD, and Book are, at some point you've got to have somebody who can run the offense, and it just didn't sit well with me all season long. And I think it was ultimately one of our undoings. Do you think Vogel would still have been the coach if they'd have got to say the second round, or do you think it was always there was going to be a change? Probably not Ishbia's guy coming in. I don't know.
I think there would have been a change purely because of if we'd have got to the second round or the West Finals, I think it'd have been a shock because I don't think things in the locker room were great with Vogel. No. He got brought in because he was able to control the locker room with the Lakers and took them to the finals, and they obviously won the championship. But actually, was he doing that much? Really, I think.
That's the question, isn't
it? So tactically, he might have been doing stuff, but I don't think the locker room was there. I think that locker room is controlled by a particular greatest of all time. So it
quote unquote, maybe or not.
So, but no, I think the turmoil we'd had during the season and stuff like that, the rigidity of lineups, which we saw with Monty Williams as well. Sort of no sense of urgency. I think we've even seen it from Bud so far in terms of he's already held people accountable. I think but in a good way. I think when Vogel used to talk in press conferences at the end, it was almost like that kind of one of my teachers when I was at school jokingly said to us once, had a go at us and then smiled and went, "I'm not actually angry with you. I just have to do this because I'm a teacher." And that's what it felt like all the time. I always used to, that quote would go round in my head that she said to us, and it just felt like that with Vogel.
It's a good shout.
So that's how it felt. So I think there would have been a change, and I think if there was conversations with Bud the year before, and then he reached back out to him again this year, and was kind of like, hey, I'm ready to come back to coaching now. If you're still interested, maybe that was part of it. It's just speculation on my behalf. It's just the whole Arizona thing and the way he's been able to put an offense together and actually get them shooting threes, which it was hard last year because it was kind of like, is the coach being drowned out by the stars, or is he just not focusing on threes as much as he said he was? And is it just a case that he can't coach in this NBA anymore?
Well, no,
because
that's true.
Coaches get to that point where they just can't adapt. Whereas Bud is all about shooting threes. It was like Giannis with just surrounded by 3-point shooters when they took him to the finals and stuff like that. And that's what we're kind of seeing here. And the guys are shooting loads of threes. I think Book is shooting over 7 a game. He's only done that 2 other times in his career. So it shows that he is doing it. And I mean, I think all of last week he'd taken double-figure threes all week, every game. So apart from the games where they locked him down, but the big ones. So I'll take that quote. It wasn't every game, was it? But you know what I'm saying?
Well, like, good, yeah.
He's throwing them up a lot more, and I think that is part of it, part of the game plan, which they are following.
I think one of the frustrating things last year, Matt, was the fourth quarter struggles, wasn't it? I think.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was like just the fourth quarter meltdowns. It's just like,
for me, that just shows that was just either they're not following what the coaches are saying, or the coaches weren't doing a good job.
No, that's when your coaching should come more to the forefront, shouldn't it?
With 3 players that have led their teams. KD obviously has done clutch things throughout his career. Book as well, Beal as well. Maybe not quite so much because the team he was on wasn't really, playing for much. But there were moments, even when he was younger, to just completely fall apart. Shows bad game plan for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I think. I still thought they'd beat Minnesota in the first round, so it shows what.
Yeah, me too.
That the fandom was taking over, mate. But well, we'd beaten them every game, hadn't we, in the regular season? So
we had, quite easily as well. And it's kind of like Anthony Edwards. He's got such a chip on his shoulder that he went, okay, I'm Michael Jordan during the playoffs, like sort of thing. And it kind of was like that. I think. Not making more excuses, but Nurk was injured during that run as well, which didn't help because they're a very big team. They're obviously smaller this year, but
our margins were so fine, weren't they, health-wise? Because we weren't a very deep team, were we? So anybody with like a niggle, we're bringing people off the bench really who shouldn't be playing any more than 10 minutes, but they're playing 20 minutes. They're playing more, and it's like, I think that's kind of where we were at. We weren't quite a complete roster. And it showed, I think, in the ultimate downfall, but Edwards was ridiculous. I don't think we could have done much with him, could we? So, sometimes you have to, I kind of respected it. I didn't like it, but I'm just like, oh, my goodness, that Edwards is
I think
doing things.
When we were 3-0 down, I think partway through that game, I was just like, it's over. I'm just going to enjoy a basketball game, forgetting that I'm a Suns fan, and just enjoy watching this young guy.
Yeah, just take over games. Just take over fourth quarter games and just like, I'm going to win this now. This is my game. And he's just like, there wasn't really a lot we could do about it. So, but they went on to have a good playoffs, didn't they, and stuff. And like you say, it just wasn't, it wasn't our year again, Matt. It happens a lot, does it? So,
yeah.
Right. So, but onto like this year. How do you think the season's kind of gone on, started for the Suns, dude? Obviously now we're maybe in a bit of a slide, but how do you think it started overall, dude?
It's looked good. I think, I've touched on it already with the offense has looked very, very nice. There's been a couple of points where it's looked a bit stagnant, but that has been, I think there was in the Magic game, there was a couple of points where Ryan Dunn was dribbling around, bless him, and there I was like, what are you doing? Just why have you
Yeah.
dribbled there? Sort of thing. So there are
Sure.
bits, but obviously that's a rookie, someone that isn't known for offense as well. So there are bits to it. But no, the fact that you're seeing the big three, I'm going to say it, I hate it, but I'm going to say it, big three. They're setting screens for each other, seeing it's called Spain pick and roll is what it's been dubbed, but you've got two screens coming off it, and then that means there's two options off the screen, right? Having sometimes Bill and KD doing that for Book, or having all three of them involved is just mental. It's really good to see, and there's a lot less of one of them stood around in the corner for a whole offense. That's the thing for me, because I think that's I mean, KD made quite a big thing of that at the end of last season about standing around and things, and how he feels like he needed to be involved more. I don't know if that was kind of just, it didn't come out properly. I don't think he felt like he needed to be involved more, like he wasn't being involved. I think he just meant all of them, not particularly him.
The ball's moving. The ball's moving a lot more now, Matt.
Very nicely.
You could see it, couldn't you? The first couple of games, you're like, oh man, the ball is moving. It's not stopping with one person. Nope. It's not you go, I go. Which I think it was quite a bit of that, mate. Like you said,
definitely. But
definitely I moving think a lot more.
100%, yeah. And I think even when the better players go to the bench, you're seeing the bench guys are still doing that ball movement, which just shows it's part of the game plan. And it's been instilled with them by the coaches, which is really good. And the buy-in is there from everyone, which is obviously, you need that chemistry to do anything in the NBA.
And also, to get the ball moving a lot, you need a point guard. And now we have a point guard, Matt, don't we? Yeah.
You do.
How do you think Ty Jones has gone on?
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed. He's had a few shooting slumps, I think, here and there. But I think I think they list him at like 6 foot, but I don't think he is 6 foot. He's probably more like 5'10". To launch threes over and over again, it'd be tiring. So I'm not too surprised that he goes through peaks and troughs there. But yeah, I've been really happy so far. I mean, that start to the season where I think he went the first 4 games with no turnovers at all.
Yeah,
just so impressive. I think. I think we were chatting online then a few years back when he was a free agent before. I think there was quite a few of us that were kind of chomping a bit, hoping he would sort of be within our price range, but he wasn't at the time. He'd gone for a bigger contract. I mean, it was such a shock. I mean, I think there was some rumblings of interest early on in the off season, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. He's going to be sort of like at least a mid-level exception guy, so like 11, 12 mil, and then. To see that, it was genuinely shocking. I thought we were going to end up either going to the season without a point guard again, or just sticking with Monte Morris.
Who was another guy who's a low turnover guy too. So you can see what they were trying to do, can't you?
100%. Yeah, definitely. But I think
the intent was there.
my sort of not worry, but my kind of cautiousness with him and buying all in as a starter is obviously not last year, the year before, he'd had missed the season with injury, and last year he was still sort of working his way back in. You didn't know how he was going to be. But actually, I think getting Tyus and allowing him to come off the bench, he comes in. What you said earlier about Nurk, like, is it no? Yes, it is. Actually, with Monte Morris, it feels like every shot he's taking is going to go in because he's a really smart player. He's played on very good teams, very well coached teams, and he's brought that to us as well. But yeah, really impressed with both of those guys. I think they've got a good balance as well. So I was obviously having point guards means the ball isn't always in the big three's hands, but I think they've done a really good job of balancing that. It seems like there's times where, say, Book brings the ball up, initiates a play. If that doesn't happen, the ball goes back out to Tyus to reinitiate a different play. Like it's working very well. I think that's good. And he's almost like they used to say this quite a bit on the timeline pod, that like Ayton used to be our release valve sort of thing. So if we couldn't get an outside shot, put it in, he'd do that little hook shot that he used to do. I feel like Tyus is that for us now. It feels like if something isn't going, the play breaks down. He's got such good basketball IQ and can see the floor so well. He'll just run a pick and roll, and you don't know whether he's going to pass it for the roll or do that floater, or he's pretty good at just taking it all the way to the hoop as well. So yeah, that's been really cool. And actually, I don't know if we want to move on unless you want to say something else about the point guards, but I was going to say it's really refreshing, especially this week, seeing it, having a big guy that can roll to the hoop. Those two massive goes to the hoop by Oso were so cool. It was so nice to have, especially coming from our generation of having Amari sort of thing. It gives you like little flashbacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's been really exciting. Like the rookies, I've really enjoyed that. It's been so nice. And I think I tweeted it out, like to have rookie legs on our team for the first time in years.
Yeah.
Jalen Smith obviously doesn't really count because he didn't go to the hoop, he just shot threes. Just having that.
Yeah.
Though, those fresh legs that wanting to prove, and the fact they drafted two guys that could contribute straight away. I think the sort of general consensus was that Oso would be able to contribute straight away because he was a 4-year guy in college, and Ryan would be out there for defense. And then as soon as, a bit like how Okogie was in his first year with us, like great defense, a bit of a liability, but all credit to him and his shooting coaches. I mean,
100%.
Crazy. Shows how, what hard work can do for you, because that shot has changed. I saw some clips of college and he had a real hitch to it.
That was his big concern coming into the draft, Matt, wasn't it? That good defender could be a real game changer on defense, but shooting needs to improve to carry on in the league. And like you say, it just shows what, if you want to really, improve and put in the work, you can, the results can show, can't they, man? For sure. I mean, not having a great draft history over the last few years, I would say. I think that's pretty safe to say, bro. So having these two guys who can come in and have actually probably got more reps because of the injuries that we've had in the last couple of weeks. That might be good for us down, later down the line. They're probably getting more minutes than what they would have done, which for them getting the reps as a rookie, that's kind of good. And I think we might have two steals of the draft, which we're not used to having.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, just the fact that Oso was not playing some games at all to then going. I think he was definitely the first guy off the bench when we started Plumlee and Nurkic together the other night. I think that was for the length, because that was part of the game plan to have that length against Minnesota, which surprisingly was really, really good. I was one of those people where I was like, oh, what? Online when I saw that.
Oh, okay. But that's the
so
back to the Bud thing, isn't it? About okay, we're playing these, we need to do this now, and it's the adjustments, and it all rolls back to that, bro, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Who you playing? You play to your opponent, maybe.
100%. But just seemed to be the first guy off the bench to then obviously more injuries meant he started. And then, every game last week, the last 3 games last week, he had a career high in something. So it was points, rebounds, and then points again, I think. Or I think the first two were the other way around. But that's, really great to see. So it's quite exciting, I think, especially for them. It's really good. I mean, I think Ryan has had obviously he started really hot from 3.
That's going to come down eventually, isn't it?
It is, and it has. It is, and it has. I think he's below 35% now, whereas the first week and a half he was sort of over 40. So
people were like first week of the season, they were like, this guy's going to be rookie of the year. What the hell's going on?
I know.
Let's just calm down a bit.
Calm down a little bit.
Great start for him, brilliant for him, But, let's just temper the.
Let's just stop. Let's not base our awards on a highlight that you've seen on Instagram.
This is just what Lakers fans are doing after Dalton Connect last night. This is he's rookie of the year, and he had a good game. Okay, let's just calm down a bit. But it's the Lakers, so it gets ESPN coverage, doesn't it?
When your coach is that shocked of the performance,
exactly.
That's when you know that they're not rookie of the year.
But a player who's a good defender. If you can play defense and shoot the 3, you are going to get minutes in this league, aren't you? How the modern
and you're going to
NBA
have a long career.
Yeah, you're going to make a lot of money, aren't you?
Yeah.
the 2 starts that them guys have made can only be a good thing, mate, isn't it? And I think, we're a deeper team now than what we were. You've got Josh Okogie, you've got Grayson Allen, you've got Royce O'Neal coming off the bench now, which them guys were starting last year. And, quite a decent, kind of bench mob now, I think, really. Josh Okogie comes in and he's flying around and doing things.
I've been really impressed with his improvement this year.
I have, mate.
It feels like he's finally got a consistent shot from 3.
And that was always the thing with him, wasn't it? Get a consistent 3-point shot, mate. You will get minutes. If you're not, then you're taking a seat, man, aren't you?
100%. And especially now, I think the last 2 seasons, he had to play because we didn't really have much other choice.
Yeah. Whereas he was starting, wasn't he? He was starting last year.
He did.
He was starting small
bit.
guard, whatever you want to say, but he was starting,
Yeah, so now we do have that choice. The fact that he's getting minutes and being impressive in those minutes and still being able to do his thing was really cool. I was a bit worried, obviously, missing the beginning of the season that he'd lost his spot completely, but he's managed to get back in, which is really cool. Really enjoyed that as well so far. What else? KD's been incredible. Obviously he's picked up an injury.
Before the injury, mate, it was like, oh my goodness. KD.
Did you see this made laugh? So obviously he's been playing incredibly, right? And MVP ladder is out, not on there at all, hardly.
No, I did see that.
As soon as he goes injured and we've lost a few in a row, he's on there now. What's all that about? These so-called experts.
Oh, mate, they don't know anything.
Nah.
No, I like the backup point guard. I like Plumlee, man. I quite like him. He just comes in and he puts himself about a bit. Good rebounder, set screens, and
I like that he can take the ball up the court as well. He can get a rebound and run.
He's an underrated passer, man. I like his passing, mate. Really underrated passer, bro.
He showed some. I remember, obviously, we played LA quite a bit in the past, haven't we? Like recent years when he was there, and then Denver as well when he was there as well. And he was, I think. Even then, you would see some flashy passes here and there, but been really impressed. I think I think I said this as well online. So he is what we wanted Eubanks to be last season.
100%.
So what we want him to be, we've got it now.
Yes.
He's been so good in those backup minutes and then stepping in for when Nurk has been injured.
Yeah.
Really good. I think thinking about the off season and another I think what they did is they did actually assess everything we missed last year.
Yeah.
And having Matt Ishbia happy to spend the money, James and that have actually been able to go, right, okay, we need to address this issue. Okay, let's go get it. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. And they have, obviously, I think center is, while we're on that, is still a big question mark because Nurk is a big question mark, like we've really said. So will there be changes there at some point? I'm just going to put it out there as well. I hate all of these Nurk and Grayson Allen for blah, 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 blah. Grayson shouldn't be going anywhere for a good couple of years, in my opinion, because who are you going to replace him with? Is a center in today's NBA going to be more valuable than him? Definitely not. And we've seen that this week. The 2 games that he was able to play in, because he missed obviously a couple.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. I put it out there as well that he, after Book, even though he'd missed 2 games, he'd made the most 3-pointers on the team. That just shows his value straight away. So I think if he'd been there in those other games, we may not have won, but we'd have been in a much better position. He moves the ball really well. He drives to the hoop. He's just a real good player. And, he was one of the, when he come to the team, I was like, oh, for God's sake, his reputation.
Yes.
But I had Sean from UK Bucks messaging me saying, no, you're going to love him. You will love him. Because he's the reputation.
I haven't seen any of that rep, though. That rep that he got. I haven't seen nothing of that, man, have you? Since he's played for us, it's just not there. It's not there anymore. He's probably not that guy anymore. You do stupid stuff when you're in college, don't you? And
I think he got asked about that. He got asked about that when he joined the team, and I think he was very truthful. I think the things he did in college were arrogant, but I think he said what the things he did while in the NBA were genuine mistakes. Him just playing hard, and it happened to be, bad things happened, and that rep followed it, sort of thing.
Yeah, hard to shake that rep off once you have it. I think, isn't it? In general NBA fandom, it's like once you have that rep, it's hard to get rid of it, isn't it? But I haven't seen anything from Grayson since he's been on the Suns to make him he's a dirty player or anything like that. I've seen nothing whatsoever. And then time somebody picks it up, I said, mate, I've seen nothing. He's been here 2 seasons. I've seen nothing from him whatsoever that remotely seems like a dirty player or anything.
No,
he's been doing. He's always been doing this summer is hitting the weight room, mate, because he looks jacked. Like Grayson Allen,
those shoulders,
mate. What?
And you can see it. You can see it on the court. It's not superficial muscle. Like,
no,
I think when he was driving baseline quite a bit in the last game, and a couple of times the Orlando players went into him, and he drew fouls, and they didn't really put him off course that much, and he said he did it by accident. He was like, "Oh yeah, I was just going to the gym, and it just happened."
Just weightlifting, and I just end up with it. That's brilliant. Well, he's like, he's banging down low with these big guys, and it's just like, yeah, come on then, let's go. And it's fantastic. But I think
as long as it hasn't ruined the shot, which it definitely hasn't.
That was the worry, bro. That was the worry. I'm like, mate, what you don't want to mess with the mechanics and things, but. I think he's put that to bed pretty early. He's had a couple of decent shooting performances, exactly. For sure. So a different role for him this year, though, coming off the bench, bro. Sometimes people find it difficult, don't they, to a different role. But I think him and Royce O'Neal are kind of a nice tandem to bring off the bench. They bring good defense, don't they? And if they're shooting well, I mean, Royce O'Neal's had a couple of games anywhere he's shot quite decent. He's had a couple of decent performances, hasn't he? So
I think he had 2 games in a row where he only missed 1-3 and things like that. So on 4, 5 or 6 attempts or something like that. So that's been really cool. And obviously he always brings defense and stuff like that as well. So yeah, absolutely. That's been very nice. Yeah, the depth's very good. I suppose dislikes has been obviously injuries. You can't help that, but it's not been good, and it shows. And it's my concern. Obviously, it's early in the season, which is great. So if we can get these out of the way now, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, we've lost 4 or 5 in a row now, and we're down straight, man. Yeah, we're down to 5th in the West.
Yes.
So we were first before this losing streak.
Yeah.
I think for a day or something. But we
have to take these small victories, Matt. We have to take these small victories. We were top of the league, mate. Yeah.
So that's cool. So that's a bit of a pain. I hope that it's not going to be a recurring thing, because the calf that KD has done is the one that kept him out of the early games of the Olympics. It's the same leg, same calf.
Yes. Yeah.
And obviously we've seen with Booker as well, it can be a recurring injury. So hopefully, obviously they got 6 days break now, 6 days off after tonight's game.
Yes, play the next tonight, and then a nice layoff. Which in the middle of the season to get 6 days off is quite.
I don't
get that very often, bro.
Not at all. I don't know the reason for it. I don't know if it's because they've had quite a packed schedule so far. I think I saw something. It's been 10 games in 17 days or something for us.
It's almost like a mini All-Star break, really. Do you know what I mean?
So hopefully we can get there. I think I saw online that with the timings of the 2 weeks for KD, it will be the weekend where he'll be reevaluated on his leg.
So looking end of November, aren't you? Hopefully, if you can. He was playing a lot of minutes, man. Start of the season, as good as he was. What was he? 38 minutes, 37 minutes a game. That's a lot, man, for a guy who's been in this league a long time, man. That's a lot of minutes on them wheels, man. You know what I mean? That's the worry. You don't want to press him too hard too early, do you? You kind of need him later. You know what I mean? That's the worry.
Yeah, but I do think that was down to sort of the competition we were playing. We had a lot of good teams to go against. All playoff teams last year, or teams that had improved and looked to be playoff teams this year. So I think once we go through a stretch of some easier teams, might see those sort of numbers come down. hopefully.
Thing is, there isn't an easy game in the West, is there, bro? Because the West it's just jacked, in it. It's just
really
completely stuffed with teams, and to make the playoffs is going to be tough, man. There's going to be 2 or 3 decent teams who aren't even going to sniff the play-in, are they? Which,
100%.
It's so every West game's important, isn't it, man? For sure.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of good teams, man, coming out
and
of the West.
And I think also like teams like Golden State, I think the consensus was they wouldn't be as good, like losing Clay, but I think in hindsight it was the right thing to do because they're doing well, sort of thing. Like, it might not be sustainable. I don't
think there's any seller's remorse, bro, is there, with the Clay? I don't think if you're Warriors.
I don't think so.
It doesn't seem like it, but
no. I think that relationship had run its course, hadn't it? So
I think so, mate. Yeah, I think so. Who do you value in the West then? Who do you think are the main kind of contenders, would you say?
Well, OKC, definitely. I mean, obviously they didn't go all the way last year, but you find these teams don't. I mean, look at Denver. It took them quite a few years to get there with that core. So they're definitely there. I think they're the only ones that are like proper serious. I think obviously Denver will always be there when you've got the best player in the world.
Yeah, it does help, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously we've got a big chance to go quite far. I think the Timberwolves, seeing the way they played the other night, obviously Julius Randle was very up and down, but actually I think the structure of their team, he fits it a lot better than what Cat did. Just having that guy who actually legitimately is a power forward, not a centre playing power forward, I think that'll really help them.
I think they'll be better in the long run, man. I'm with you, mate. I agree.
So
I think they'll be better. It might not look good right now, but I think when they kind of get used to everybody and
it's a big change when you're trading all-star players. It's a big shift, and especially like Cat had been there since all of his career. I think he's definitely the longest tenured player. He'd been there longer than most of the coaches. So having a player like that go, there will be a shift. And I mean, obviously we've already said Anthony Edwards and stuff, but so I think they're probably sort of top 4. I'm probably forgetting someone really obvious in the West.
They're all good, mate.
They're all right.
They're all decent, mate. Absolutely. I think when we played OKC the other night, their defense is like very good.
They didn't have any centers either. All 4 of their centers are injured.
Yeah, they've got everybody out. Chet's out, Artenstein's out. They've got a couple of other guys, but the defense is suffering, mate. Like suffocating. Just they did a number on us, didn't they? We didn't break 90 points, did we? I don't think 89.
No, I think we shot 29% for the game as well.
Yeah, but I think awful. It was just like they've got guys who can just fly around at you and hound you, and Caruso, Dort, and they've got a star and Shea. They're going to be, if they get everybody back, they're going to be nobody going to want to play them in the playoffs, mate. I doubt that's for sure, 100%. But there's a lot of decent teams in our division, isn't there? There's no bad team really. By the looks of it, it's it's going to be a dogfight for the division, isn't it? For sure. So the Kings, they kind of look good. They've added another closer in DeRozan from the team they had last year.
As we saw,
he killed us, didn't he, down the stretch OT, and oh god, it was just this, similar play. Just give it to DeRozan, and he's going to hit that 2 points, top of the key or whatever. And the Lakers, Davis is playing very well.
Yeah, MVP level. Yeah,
absolutely. You've got to give it to him. They're playing really well. I think they've won 6 straight now. The Lakers. So, the Clippers. I think Clippers are actually better than what I thought they were going to be, because I thought they were going to be one of the teams who kind of dropped out the playoff race, but they're just riding James Harden like it's 2016 or something.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're really scrappy as well. They've got some real good role players there.
Yes, I mean we've played them twice, haven't we already?
Yes, we played them twice within the first week.
Yeah, weird. We played the Lakers as well. I was like, we're getting all the LA teams out of the way already or something. But they're scrappy on defense, aren't they? And they all compete on the defensive end.
Very well coached.
Very well coached. Even Harden, mate. Even Harden's trying on defense, which, I mean, there's a lot of coaches who've lost jobs trying to get that done. So, well, yeah, it's hard to lose a decent coach, isn't he? Whether they can sustain it, who knows when Kawhi comes back from their point of view. But
I'm not sure. Not sure.
You never know.
That
Can you rely on him?
Strange situation.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Has he made his money? He's not that bothered now. I don't know.
So it's what it seems like. I hope it isn't. I always quite sad when professional athletes lose the sort of passion for it and just stay in it for the money, especially the amount of money they're making. They don't need to, but
no, absolutely. But yeah, I think you've Houston are kind of surprising a lot of people at the Mo, aren't they? 10-5. They're fourth in the West at the Mo. They kind of resemble their coach, don't they? Udoka's kind of hard-nosed, no nonsense.
Well, he did a good job with the Celtics. It was just behind the scenes stuff, obviously, that wasn't great. A question about character, but you don't know what goes on behind closed doors properly. But he's taken another young team and building them up. So
decent team, good young team with a couple of mixed with a couple of decent veterans in there. And
who they got? They got Van Vliet, haven't they? He's still there.
Yeah, is it Adams as well? Is he there? Used to be OKC. Big guy.
He's been out injured, hasn't he, for a while?
Yeah, he might be back now. I'm not sure, but Steven Adams, is it? Yeah, Steven Adams. Yeah, but yeah, sprinkled in with them, it's a kind of decent combo. But it's no joke, man. Every week you have a look at the schedule, and it's like, oh man, got to face Kings away tonight, and then tomorrow it's home to Denver, and then it's away at Houston, and you're like, man, these games are just they're unrelenting. And when you're injured as well, you got injuries as well. You're like, man, these games are coming, and it's no joke, man, is it? It's tough out there, man.
And I think like with our injuries and the recent run we've had, it was just bad time with everything.
There's never a good time to have injuries, bro, is there?
No, I just mean like there's a road trip with some tough teams. We were at the apex of a top of the West, apex of a win streak, and then you lose it, and then Bill looked good for a couple of games, and then he gets injured. So it's just one of those.
Yeah, shame because he felt like he looked like he was in his best stretch as a Sun, wasn't he? It was looking all like a previous self that he used to be in Washington, and then injuries, and you just hope it's not going to be like last year where they hardly played together. The three of them did they? So. Because you need that camaraderie, you need that togetherness, and used to playing with each other, and didn't really get it too much, did they, last year? So
I think last year he didn't know his role, whereas I think this year they've probably made a bit more of an effort to define that for him.
Yes. Again, is that down to coaching, bro? You've got right. I've got these three guys. What's the role going to be? When you have a big three, bro, there's always one who kind of their stats don't reflect really what kind of a player they are, and is it Beal who's going to be that guy who's probably making the sacrifices stats wise, or do you just go off it whoever's kind of going on that day, on that night, or whatever? That's always my kind of I'm not a big fan of big three teams because I feel like it's you're leaving such a gap then between like your second kind of unit and your second best lot of players and stuff. And I prefer to have two superstars, and then you kind of you can kind of build a better team around them. But here we are, so we're always behind them, aren't we, mate? So that's we try to support them as much as we can. So I don't like to criticize too much. I'm a glass half full guy when it comes to the Suns. I'm always trying to be behind them instead of criticizing too much. But sometimes, you see something, you have to call it out, don't you, man? But I try to support. Yeah, I try to be with them, behind them, rather than shouting in front of them or on the sidelines or whatever. But that's the life of being a Suns fan, isn't it, bro?
Very true. Very true.
So like you say, we've had a new coach this off season in Mike Budenholzer. Obviously, we know Bud quite well because he was a part of our undoing when we made the finals in 21. Less said about that, the better. But like you said, man, a guy who is from Arizona, and in his introductory press conference, he really looked excited and engaged that he was going to be the Suns coach, and he was like really, you could see he was really animated at the press conference, and he seemed like he was really excited to be here, and we haven't had that too often.
No, he looked sort of like on the verge of tears every question. Whenever he started talking about the Suns or Arizona, it looked like he was on the verge of tears, like just through like the happiness of being there and stuff, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, I hadn't really ever looked into sort of like him as a coach that much. Obviously, I knew he'd had success with Atlanta.
Yes,
he had 5 All-Stars there and had a cool offense, and then taking the Bucks all the way there. Once again, Sean from UK Bucks was always saying, the what you see online about the Bucks fans saying fire him was just so unwarranted that there was no need for it, because
he was very against it, wasn't he, Sean?
Yeah, he was.
He was very I remember him saying when he come on the show, he was very against the whole Bud firing thing.
And then when you find out that he did get fired, and he coached a day after his brother had died, and you're like, that's obviously the business, but it's not nice. But very happy with what I've seen with him so far. I think, like you said, the engagement is through the roof. I think there's so much respect for him. I think Matt Ishbia made a comment that, like, his first day at the practice facility, he was like, right, that needs changing, this needs changing, and all this sort of thing. Whereas, they hadn't had that with Vogel didn't come in and do those sorts of things. And he's a lot more, sounds like he's a perfectionist, and he holds people accountable and all those sorts of things. And it's what you want. And I think it's what the players want. I think we've really touched on it as well, but the offense is looking so nice now. And he's not afraid to mix things up, as we saw with the Twin Towers lineup, which is cool to see. And it's early in the season, so I think he was probably kind of like, let's give it a go. Let's put length out there. Let's try and trap them. And if that first quarter, it was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, how is this working? Like, why is it working? Like, it was just so it was a bit surreal, but it was cool to watch. It was really cool to watch, and I think
refreshing. I think,
refreshing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but no, I'm happy with seeing. Like, I think I don't know if we were saying this before we went live or not, but I was saying about how he's in press conferences and things like that, how he holds the guys accountable, but not in a fake way, which Vogel did feel like sometimes. It felt like he was just going, oh yeah, my naughty players, just to like make a point. So he's I did say it, I did hold you accountable. Whereas I think Bud, it's genuine. He'll hold them accountable, but then he'll go talk to them and be like, look, how can we get better? How can we improve this and things? So I think it's really cool. I think it's nice to I mean, I was pretty comfortable with Monty Williams. I think I always knew that he wasn't a championship coach. But hopefully, we've had, I was going to say he was our Mark Jackson before Steve Kerr took over but we just had a blip in the middle with Vogel a little bit. But hopefully we can use the momentum to take it further. He's got a massive coaching staff. He's got some ex-players in there as well.
He's got James Posey, I think. Has he got
James Posey's in there? Yeah. Brent Barry's in there.
Brent Barry, that's it, man. Yeah.
Which is really like left wing, because he was front office staff.
Yes,
but they were together in San Antonio, of course. I think the only criticism I've got, and it's one thing that the coaching staff did so well last year. I think we went a stretch of like 5 or 6 challenges where we got them all right. They're terrible at challenges. They are challenging stuff that you can see in real time.
Yeah,
the call was correct or whatever, and it's just some of them have been questioned, like, why are you using it now? And I think against Orlando, we used it on whatever we used it on. I can't remember. It was saying, it was on that Grayson screen where the elbow checked it for the elbow sort of thing, which it isn't. It's just, if you've ever played basketball, if you screen, you're either secondary school X, you either cover your nuts or you go big. And being a smaller guy, my coach used to say, go big because you're easy to get around. You do that. And that's what happened there. But anyway, they used a challenge on trying to say that. It's like, well, you can see he was moving. Like you've had 2.5 minutes of seeing replays over and over again. You could see that he was still moving. The elbow didn't go out. No, it was solid, but he was stepping sideways at the time when the hit happened. So little things like that. And I think a couple minutes later, there was then they called something and it clearly should have been our ball or whatever it was. And I was just like, if we had a challenge there, I think Royce went like that and they couldn't challenge.
No, I think once it where one of the Orlando players grab hold of the basket or something and they didn't call it. That was it.
That's it. Well, they wouldn't have been able to challenge that. They wouldn't have been able to challenge that because the whistle didn't go. But there was something else around. It was sort of around that kind of period, like literally just after we'd wasted it.
Right.
So they could work on that a bit more. But I think that there's that's usually an assistant coach's job to do that.
They're always looking back at the guys when they see something. They look back, going, "Are we doing it?" Or know, so somebody's calling it somewhere. Whoever that is needs to. I don't like using them until the fourth quarter anyway, bro. I'm
always kind of like, why are we doing it now? It's not gonna. You can make up that maybe potential lost one basket, But at
that's the Doc Rivers school of coaching. That is, I'm going to use it with 10 minutes left in the first or something. It's like why are you doing it now, man? Like you're going to need that.
One thing I do love on the challenges, and he did it all last year as well. Anytime Nurk doesn't think he's fouled, so it's like every foul he makes, he's like at the bench. Check that. I didn't foul him. It's like, yes, you did.
Yes, you did, bro.
You did. You
some of them when they're like, I want this challenging. He wants the replay, mate. Come on, man. You know it. Mate. You know if you fouled somebody, bro, don't you? You've played, Matt. You've played before, bro. You know, don't you, when you fouled somebody?
Oh, you know when you've done it. But also you know when you haven't, and that's when. And then when you haven't got that challenge, it's like, oh my god. So once again, I mean, Booker's terrible at that as well. He'll be like, you got to challenge that. You got to challenge that, and it's just like you can see that you just like you definitely are gonna fail that challenge. So
come on, Book, come on, mate.
So,
I mean, I wasn't. I wasn't a massive fan of Bud before. A very good regular season coach has won a lot of games. Has won a lot of regular season games, bro.
But just kind of had a pull through in the playoffs.
That's the playoffs is when I get a bit nervous. I've seen it, not willing to make those adjustments in the playoff games, but he's definitely doing it in the regular season. So if he can carry on like that in the playoffs, it should be good. But I felt a lot better once I saw the press conference, bro, and I saw his animation and his happiness that he was at. I am the Suns coach. This is something I've dreamt of when I was young. And, so that to me put me a bit more at ease. I was like, man, he wants to be here and he cares and stuff. And I kind of like that.
100%. Another thing as well, just like seeing him in the press conference, seeing how fit and healthy he was compared to before, because he put on a lot of weight and stuff like that. To see him come in, he was fit and healthy. I think it just shows that he had that year to refresh. And I think just having that, seeing that positivity to do that, to have that reflection, though, do you know what? I need to make a bit of a change here. And I think you see that with a lot of coaches, not obviously weight loss, but like Monty Williams used to say about it, like he'd go away and assess what he did before and try and make changes in the off season. So maybe, like you said about being rigid with those lineups, it's a case that maybe he's gone away and reflected and gone, do you know what? I do need to be a bit more flexible with those things. Like a player goes away to work on a skill on the court as well. So
absolutely. How can it be better than it was last year and the year before that, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, for sure. Not all players and coaches do that, but I think the ones who want to improve and want to be better than they were yesterday or the day before, then that's like you say, have a look in the mirror and kind of like, oh, could maybe have done that better, and then come back and be better in it for sure, mate. So decent. So the age-old question, Matt, that I like to ask people when they're on this show is, how far can your team go? So dare you put in a prediction with how far the Suns can go, dude?
think, I mean, we said it earlier, we were talking about teams in the West, and I think they are, they can definitely be a home court team. Looking at it, being a Suns fan, I'm never going to say we're going to win the title. Let's just put it out straight away. I'm never going to say that ever. Right?
Come on, bro.
No, I'm never going to say that.
No, I get you, mate. I get it.
So I think we can get to the West Finals. I'll be happy with the West Finals. And if that's against OKC and they run us out the building or whatever, that's fine. That's absolutely fine with me. And I think because we've never tasted a title, hungry for it. But I am very much like, even when we were crap, if it was fun basketball, I'm happy because I enjoy basketball. But I think Western Conference Finals should be the target. Because I think we can beat most teams in the East in a 7-game series. Obviously, you've got the reigning champs would be the biggest challenge. The way they match up with us is pretty mental. I think. Well, the way they match up with most teams, they're outmatching most of them.
They shoot a lot of threes, don't they?
A hell of a lot. And the maths works. It's really crap basketball.
I completely agree, mate. It is not the basketball I want to watch. But if you're winning, what you can't really say. But as for me, a fan who likes to watch good basketball, that is not a game that I want to watch. Like the Houston teams of years gone by, it's just not. But I don't enjoy watching it too much.
No.
Like 53s a game is 50 free throw attempts a game is absurd, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just. And I mean, I hope the league doesn't move that far into just shooting threes because it just takes the fun out of it. And
absolutely, agree.
NBA do a good job of being able to attract people that have never watched it before. Like basketball's a game, as well, not just the NBA.
Sure.
And it's because it's a fun game. It's a fun game, and that running to the rim and all that sort of stuff. It needs to be a nice mixture, but I mean, we did it. I think Booker on a fast break, he had someone in front of him who would have easily just got a dunk. He's pulled up from free and missed it.
Yeah.
And I know the maths is if you go down the next time, same situation, hit the second one, the maths means it's worth it. But it's taking the intelligent threes, I think, is what I very much prefer. And this is coming from someone that has played basketball, and the only thing I'm good at was good at, I can't say now because it's been a while, but was good at is shooting threes. That's all I could do.
Right.
So that's coming from me. I love it. It's great feeling on the court, but as a spectator, it's
not a fan. But West Finals, mate. That's a decent, mate. I'll take that, mate. You need that bit of luck, don't you, man? To get anywhere, don't you? You need that bit of luck. Is your team healthy, or maybe another team is not? But you do need that bit of luck, man, to get where you need to be. But if we are fully healthy, bro, I think we're going to be a match for somebody, aren't we? In the playoffs, man, for sure.
Just thinking of, like you're saying about health, just trying to think, are we, out of all the teams in the league, apart from 76ers and Clippers, are we sort of in that sort of top 3 of most likely to be injured? Like that, school yearbook, most likely to be, and ours is injured during playoff time. Is that us?
I think maybe the Grizzlies are in there too, I think. They have a lot of injuries too, don't they? It's already started with them guys again. You just don't you don't want to be that known as that team, do you, Ruse? They're always injured then. So that's great.
Exactly. So maybe we are. Maybe that's a thing, and we just don't see it so much because we're part of the fandom. But maybe that's what other people are saying. But it is a concern. I think it's the biggest concern. That and center position are our biggest concerns. It's just that. Obviously, we got Nurk, I think, to try and battle, not battle, but try and slow down Jokic a little bit, if you can do that.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. But, if you're going to go get someone, you get the person that played together for 2 years, playing against each other in training.
Yeah.
And actually, in the past, Nurka's done all right against him. You just can't really do great against centres that barely get off the bench. Anyway, so that's still a question mark. Sure. That and health.
Yeah.
Obviously,
absolutely.
we haven't touched on it, but Booker's had a bit of it feels like an off start. But
a lot of people are talking, Matt. People are talking.
But Gerald from PHNX Suns put up stats from, I think it was this season, last season. I don't know if it was a couple of seasons back or whatever.
Yeah, he did like a comparison, didn't he? Yeah.
But actually, this time in the season, that's how he's always sort of performed.
Right.
I mean, I'm not too worried. I mean, the performances we've seen since KD has been injured is purely because the teams are game planning and doing quite well at that.
No, they're double and triple teaming him, bro, aren't they now? Like,
yeah, I mean, two losses last week, OKC and Sacramento, were definitely ones where they both employed, and I wrote about this, they both employed the same game plan and they both got results from it. OKC obviously took it to the next level, being so ferocious with it, but it worked. It just happened to be, 2 games in a row where they disrupted Book. When he was open, he didn't hit the shots he usually would. And the rest of the guys weren't hitting either. I mean, 2 games in a row, we shot, I think it was 32% and then 29%. So you're going to have those, but I do blame that on injuries. And I think Book does need to be better in those situations, not going to lie. There was a couple of people saying he was not being aggressive, but then when I watched the game, because I was a bit behind with those ones, but when I watched those, I was like, well, he was. So he was getting to the hoop and he was getting there, but he was just making the smart plays, and it's just they just weren't going down, which was a shame.
Did he do a better job against Minnesota on Sunday? Because he had a good game, didn't he? Like individually.
Yeah, he was genuinely brilliant.
He was
really good.
Yeah,
it's game of the season for him so far. Obviously, he'd already hit 40 points, but he hit 44 the other night. But it was just the type of shots he was making.
The degree of difficulty,
yeah. I mean, that baseline fadeaway in the fourth was just, like it was mental, but we've seen it all before.
It's like
as soon as you kind of expect it to go in. But he was so impressive there, and it was definitely back to the Book we're used to, and obviously it's probably because Minnesota were playing us slightly differently. The only difference in that game, because obviously we were there, was that Randall and Edwards got hot at the same time at the right time at the end of the game. So we won't go into that final shot because everyone's got their opinions and stuff like that. But it's
I think they said they travelled anyway, didn't they?
He travelled. But if you watch NBA games, they travel all the time.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
So they're not going to call it in that situation. Even if that was a foul at the end of the game, they would not have called it.
No.
They do not call stuff like that in those moments. I'm surprised they didn't call a Kogi flopping. That was what I thought they were going to do. Because when it just ended and then the broadcast didn't go really into a lot of detail on what was happening, I thought there'd be replays and stuff like that. It kind of just, you had, our commentators sort of saying about, they were saying, I think that was a foul, and then it kind of ended. And I was like, oh, I genuinely thought when Okogie went down, there'd be a whistle. But I thought it'd be a whistle somewhere in there.
Say for a game winner, mate, they're not calling that.
No,
they're not. Yeah, you're gonna have to do something really egregious to get a foul against you at that point towards the end of the games. But I think we played well enough to win the game, and they stole that game from us, which can happen in the league. But I think we played very well as a team in that game, and Booker obviously was brilliant. But that's how it goes, man. Sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes you don't play very well and you win anyway. I thought we were playing really good. We led for most of the game, didn't we? Which was a shame.
And to be fair, we played pretty well against Orlando. Like, I think the effort was there. They were playing well. It was just shots weren't falling. And at the end of the day, they had more talent on the court at that, during that game than what we did. And I think that's what it come down to. They're a good team. You definitely can't look at Orlando as that, those young whippersnappers. They might turn us over if they're on. They're generally a good team now.
Yeah, without Banchero as well was good for them.
Without Banchero as well. So, I think we did okay there. I think the refs for the last 2 games have been absolutely awful. I don't complain about the refs usually because they're humans and stuff happens. But some of the calls they were making were just like boneheaded things. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, me as a spectator, I've done a bit of reffing in the past. I wouldn't call that, and I'm not saying I'm a great ref, but I've done it, and you're kind of like, why are you doing that? Or it was them that checked the Grayson Allen elbow. Like, I don't think either team were calling for that. They did it and called it out. It's like, what the hell? Like,
I don't think anybody was calling for something to be reviewed at that point. And it's
exactly.
like, what are we doing here? Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Very odd. Very odd. That Tyler Ford's a weird one. I don't like him. He looks like he's got some sort of like hobbies you don't want to hear about.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes. But So conference finals for the Suns, mate. I think that'll be good, mate. Go deep in the playoffs, mate. Hopefully this time after the disappointment of last year. Like you said, man, the Suns play the Knicks tonight, and they'll be wearing again their new Valley jerseys. So are you a fan of these jerseys, Matt? Were you a fan when they first announced it, or I might know the reason?
No. So I liked the concept. I thought, great, idea and all that sort of thing. It's missing a cactus. Come on, you've put it on the court. It's missing a cactus, and I get it.
Yeah.
There might be some sort of like copyright reason that they can't do it nowadays, or whatever it is. But the number on the star doesn't, for me, pick it up very well. And I think also the numbers are 2 numbers, so like above 10, pretty much cover that whole star up. It's too much.
Yes.
The single digits sit well, but
yes,
and I put it out there. I did put it out there, and it might be just because I was blinded by the beautiful court. I am sold on them now. I do really like them. After earlier in the day when we put in our group chat, they're on Nike sort of thing, and we go, I'm going to leave it. I'll wait for them to hit the sale and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I am tempted now.
Yes. I think you're a fan of the shorts, Matt, right?
Oh yeah.
The shorts.
Shorts are so good. Shorts are so good.
Yeah, man.
Like Phoenix do such good shorts all the time. They're just so good. I'm always happy with those. But no, I think a thing that put me off as well, the leaked images weren't very good. But then when you've seen them now, the press picture and all that, the details down the side, sort of like the detailing around the arms as well is really cool. There's a bit of teal in there, like the City jerseys from a couple of years ago. So I'm a lot happier with them. I think Nike will be getting some of my money at some point this season, so I do have to take that back. But also, I said to you offline as well, like I always really like to get the City ones because you can only get them for a year. One's obviously the original Valley one was so popular, and that's do reprints for them and stuff like that. None of them have been that popular since. So actually, if you're a collector, which you and I do like to do, to have them in the future is really cool. So it's not my favorite Valley jersey. It's probably my least favorite. It's not Valley, sorry, City jersey. It's probably my least favorite so far. But to be honest, Nike have done such a good job with Phoenix jerseys. It's hard to say no to them.
It's more often good than bad, isn't it? When it comes to Suns jerseys, man, they usually the concept we usually nail it, don't they? There's not too many that over the years really that you're like, oh no, I don't like that. Maybe a couple in the mid 2000s, maybe, but late 2000s, 2010s.
The orange 7 seconds or less one.
Yeah,
I only bought that maybe 2 years ago, literally just so I had the full set. Like that's literally the only reason.
Okay.
And it was a Barbosa as well, which I'd never seen. I'd only ever seen Nash and Amari ones for sale.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
found this Barbosa one. I was like, I've got to have that. But there's that one. And I think obviously the Adidas ones, they get a bad rep. But the concept on those is now reflected in the Nike ones that we've got. So the icon and that. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, I'm sold now.
It didn't take long for you to turn it around, dude. But
it's just so many people said to me. So like Ross reached out to me, was like, for a fact you're saying you don't like it, but as soon as you see it on court, you're going to be all over it. I was like, I know. Elliot from Hooping and Luton said the same. I was like, yeah, I know. I said, but like, I'm trying to not spend money.
But, well, they're not helping us out very much, are they, mate? To be honest, they're not helping. No. Like, come on, not another one, man. It's another one I've got to get. And I was with you, mate. When I first saw it, I was like, why doesn't the number font match the valley on the front and things? I was just like, that's a bit weird. But like I say, with the court and the whole concept of it, and they're wearing the jerseys on with the court like they were in the last game, it was like, yeah, we're there, aren't we?
That's it. And I think, like you said, with the numbers not matching, I hadn't realised that it was an homage to all the All-Star games that have been in Phoenix, not just the 95 one, which is why the fonts don't match.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Obviously, this is what happens in being on social media and getting the leaks and that. Obviously, you just jump to conclusions. And now seeing the full story, and like they the media guys, the Suns media team, absolutely smashed the hype video for it. And they they've got such a good group of people doing that. They always hit. They always do really well. I thought that was really cool, and even the press pictures, like doing it up in like in the desert, in the, I'm guessing it's some mountains near there, sort of thing. They look really good. And I used the book one when he was in front of that massive rock on like my graphic and stuff like that. So it was nice. Yeah, they've done a good job. They've earned their wages by selling it to me, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Last question, probably before we head out, bro, is how many pairs of boot ones have you got?
2. So I've got the Mirages, the original ones that sold out really quick.
Nice.
If there's any US listeners, we didn't have to get them on sneakers. We could just get them straight from Nike.com, but they did sell out on day one. So I'm glad I got them
very quickly.
Very quickly. They have not touched UK soil. I've only worn those when I was away on holiday in the south of France in the heat, because I was like, I'm not having these wet sort of thing. And then for my birthday, I treated myself to the Halloweens.
Nice.
So I'm not a big Halloween fan in general, but I'm a sucker for anything sort of Suns that's black, because you can wear it, because for many years the purples and the oranges were a bit atrocious, so you couldn't really wear them. But also, like, there's a couple of people I work with who are good friends of mine. They love Halloween, and they really got me into it this year. So it was kind of like the buzz of Halloween, the buzz of these new shoes coming out. Obviously, Book loves Halloween as well. Nightmare Before Christmas. So I was like, I'm going to get them. Like,
nice. And what do you think of them, bro? What do you think of them?
They're really cool. They are really good. They've got some sort of like crackling sort of paint job on them. I suppose it's the best way to describe it. I don't know if anyone knows cars, but you can get this thing called Raptor paint, which is like hardware and paint that you can paint. It's kind of like that. It's almost like they have really captured the Tim Burton aesthetic on them. And I love the little detail, like along the back where it says chapter 1 down the back bit. It's done in the same style as the writing of Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff. So the detail's good. The soul lights up, glows in the dark. And all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they're really cool. Once again, they might not get worn.
Shoes are meant to be worn, Matt. Shoes are meant to be worn, my friend.
I know.
It's hard, especially in our quote on summer, whatever it is.
I know. They might come out, maybe. I am wearing, though, I've got a fancy dress party to go to next week for work, and it's a 90s theme. And I am wearing my Jordan 9s, which, once again, they've never touched any floor apart from home and a basketball court.
Oh, wow.
So, but I don't play anymore, so they need to be worn.
Gotta wear them, bro. Gotta wear these things if you're buying them, mate. Why not?
I've got too many. I've got too many. That's the problem. I think if I wore every pair, I'd probably be 2 months in by the time I got back to the beginning. So it's quite bad.
I'm just the same, mate. I'm just as bad. Yeah. I've got the Book one, the Haven ones, the all black.
Yes, the all black ones. Yeah, nice.
Mate, They are one of the comfiest shoes I have ever put on my feet, mate. They were as soon as you put them on straight away, they were.
Oh, see,
like, wow.
I found with the Mirages, when I first put them on, there was so much padding. I was a bit like, oh no, are these going to be uncomfortable? But then after maybe like 5 minutes of wearing them, it's like it molded to my foot more.
Yes.
But yeah, so they're very, very comfortable. And I think for me, just in general about the shoe, I've not really said this anywhere else, but I love Air Force Ones. I'm very particular about which ones I get. I'm not one. I won't go to like JD Sport and get JD Sport ones because I only get like the ones that are more exclusive. I think it's the LV8s that they do. I don't like those ones. They're like re-engineered ones that they brought out. Don't do those. They're the ones that you see in JD Sports where they got all the weird colors and all that sort of thing. I don't do those. So I'm very particular. But Air Force Ones are all-time favorite. I had a pair of. I still got them. I just don't wear them because I actually wore those into the ground. They're away because they're too worn. But the 25th anniversary ones, the all black ones with the white swoosh and all that sort of thing. So they're my all-time favorite ones. But for years since they did the 25th anniversary, I think they released some editions, but they weren't like a recreation of Air Force Ones. But Book is obviously a fan of Air Force Ones because his shoes for me are a modern interpretation of them. Yeah, and that's what I love about them so much. I know that I think it's Tom, our friend Tom, is waiting for the Forrest Gump ones to come out.
Yeah, the Cortez.
Cortez ones.
Ooh,
but I don't think there's been confirmation that they're definitely coming out, though.
This is the thing. There's so many different variations, man. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
And I'll tell you what, though. I thought I'd made a mistake because I didn't know that the Halloweens were getting a reverse color. So they did white and black as well.
Oh, interesting.
There's rumors that apparently originally they were meant to be a dual pack, like what Jordan did. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do dual packs and stuff. Apparently it was that, but then I don't know if they were released. I think they were because I think I showed my wife. I was like, I think I might have bought the wrong ones, but actually I've got. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the black. Like once they'd arrived, I was like, oh no, these are the ones.
Okay. How is the wife with the sneaker collection? Is she?
It's fine. I got her in. So for years and years, also I've always been into shoes. Like I'm really lucky. Like where I live, there was a Nike outlet, and back in the day, me and my mates were wearing Dunks Air Force Ones and getting them for like 20-25 quid, right? So we were wearing Dunks when they were the unpopular shoes sort of thing.
Yes,
and I worked over there, so every payday I'd go across to Nike and I'd come back with a pair of shoes, and they used to do really, really good ones. I've got Pure Money Jordan 4s from in there. Like that's my favorite shoe ever. So you're picking up stuff like which you don't get there now. You don't get there. It's mainly like Giannis's. They had the Phoenix purple KDs 16s last year. They were pretty cool. I didn't pick up those because I was just I can't do that. But no, I got her actually into shoes more. So
wow, amazing.
Now, finally got her into some trainers. So she's rocking like Blazers now. She's got some. She found them online, and I was like, "You've got to get them because I've never seen them before." There's some Blazers, but they're a special edition for a women's basketball coach who is at a New York high school. She's like a legend, and they're like a special edition for her. Like these browns, they're so cool. So she's got them. I bought her the Jordan 1s that have got the animal print swoosh because that's she's into all that.
Nice.
What else has she got? I think she's got a pair of Air Force Ones. So yeah, she's starting to wear them, sort of thing. I've got my daughter her first pair of Jordan 1s last week.
Nice.
So yeah, they're into them. Like my boys, like my eldest plays basketball at school now, so he's got a pair of Tatums, the black and green ones.
Oh yeah, nice.
Went to the outlet store. They had some Zions in there, so there's some Zion 3s, the all white ones. So he's got those. He had Curry's for his first one. So yeah, like it's an addiction, and it's terrible because the kid, like my wife, will see them. Like, do you like these for like one of the kids? And I'm like, yeah, get them. Like, I'm just terrible. Like, yeah, get them. Just get them.
Just get them.
I'm not going to say no. Like,
it's just. So this is how it's acceptable, Matt. You get the other half involved, and then it's okay.
Yes. Yeah,
that's what you did there.
I was like, do you like these? And she was like, yeah, they're all right. So I gauge on like what the reaction is and whether I should ask them or not. So but no, she's so good. She's always been really good at picking trainers. So like, she really likes Jordan Spizikes. So she got me a low pair for my birthday, which was earlier this month, and they're olive green. They're so good. They're so nice.
Okay.
That's like my third or fourth pair of those Spizikes. But yeah, it's like I said, it's an affliction, an absolute affliction. I'm not one of these people that will just like buy the ones that are popular because they're popular. I'll only buy them if I like them. I'm not going to jump on sneakers for shoes that I don't like.
No.
I'm way past that. I had some disgusting pairs of trainers back in the day that I never wore and just bought them just because.
Oh dear. So, I won't ask you to divulge what they are, mate. Don't worry.
Oh no. I can tell you one which were really bad, and I'm kicking myself now because I never wore them and actually charity shopped them.
Oh wow.
I'm an idiot. So there were LeBron James Air Force Ones, but they were silver with a red sole. They were disgusting. Me and my mate both bought a pair, and they were from TK Maxx back in the day when TK Maxx was like fresh and did all the cool stuff. We both never wore them because they were just disgusting, but they were like 20 quid. And then StockX comes along, and I'm just searching like old trainers. I wonder how much they are, see if I can pick them up. They're like 550 quid unworn now.
Ouch.
Yeah, so
never charity shop any of your trainers is the moral.
No, never charity shop trainers unless they're like into the ground, and they're definitely not going to sell for anything good. But check eBay, check StockX before you throw any Nikes, any Jordans away.
Okay.
That is
the moral of the story.
Everything about this podcast, it's the only thing you remember. It's that.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I may or may not have brought some Book One sunsets this week.
Oh, nice.
Unconfirmed or confirmed.
So I showed those to the wife, and I was like, "Do you like these?" She went, they're pink, right? Because I'm a bit colorblind, right? And I was like, "Yeah, but the sole is really cool." She was like, "You're buying them. You want to buy them just because the sole's cool?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Maybe you shouldn't." I was like, "Can I see if they?" My daughter's called Darcy. I was like, "Can I see if they got Darcy's size?" Like, they definitely haven't. But... Nice. So she's going to need some basketball trainers when she starts secondary school.
I can see how this goes, Matt. I can see where this is going. Yeah, this is the same story all over again, mate, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it is.
It's good, though. It's good. Absolutely. Anything else, man, you want to discuss before we... I think we're done, bro. I think we've bashed it out.
I think that's it. I hope everyone's enjoying the season. Thank you for continuing to do the pod. Keep it up.
Do my best, sir.
It's great to see you doing it. It's great to see you having fun with it still as well. So yeah, keep it up, man.
Just like I've like-minded people like myself, mate, who like the game of basketball, man, and just if they want to chop it up for a bit, then that's basically what the MO is, mate. So thanks a lot for agreeing to come on again, dude. Always a pleasure to have you on. So you are welcome anytime, mate, if you want to pop on again. And
absolutely, whenever you need me, just drop me a message.
I'll send out the bat signal.
I can talk other teams. You'll just need to give me a bit more notice.
Yeah. How many non-Suns games are we watching, bro? What are we saying?
Not many. I must admit, not many.
Takes up a lot of your time, bro. Trying to keep up with everything, man. It's no joke, man.
Yeah.
But we love it, don't we? So that's why we do it. But thanks a lot again for coming along, man. It's a pleasure to have you on, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Nice one. But thanks very much. If you want to tell the people where they can find you, Matt, on the socials, if they want to follow you.
Yeah, sure. So it's Go On My Sons. I'm on pretty much all of them, unfortunately. So Twitter or X, Instagram, Threads as well. And I've just jumped on the bandwagon for Blue Sky as well, which seems like quite a pleasant place to be at the moment.
Nice.
So yeah, you can find me there. I post my articles on there, but if you want to go straight to the website, it's still my old alias, so sunsfansuk.com. And yeah, stop by, say hey. Don't have to be a Suns fan to speak basketball, so yeah, just drop by.
Absolutely, go give him a follow, guys. He does a lot of work for the little Phoenix Suns UK community that we have. There's not many of us, but we are a passionate bunch. So thanks a lot for all you do, Matt, for the UK Phoenix Suns fans. So a pleasure, mate. But we will see you again I'm sure we'll have you on again, hopefully, for the championship parade. Who knows?
Yes, we've been planning that for years, you and me. So yeah, we will definitely be doing that.
4 years in the making, bro.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely
absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But thanks very much, guys, for listening or watching. So I'm Matt at Post323. You'll be able to watch this on YouTube, or if you want to just listen to my annoying voice, you can listen back to it on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. So thanks very much for watching or listening. Any likes and shares you can give, much appreciated. So we will be back again very soon with another edition, another special guest, who knows, but we will see you again very soon. Take care.